Well, we are in the new River Gorge National Park, and we are doing what we love to do the most, and that is do some hiking.
Our first hike this morning is the Endless Wall Trail. It's one of two trails that are listed as the most popular here at the national park. And we started off at the Fern Creek trailhead. There is another trailhead about a half-mile up the road called the Nuttall Trailhead. So you have two options. This is a point-to-point trail, not a loop, though you can make it a loop by walking back on the road, which is probably what we are going to do today. So far, this trail, we're barely down the trail and it is unbelievably beautiful. West Virginia is one of the top 4 most wooded states in the country, and you can definitely see that when you get into the woods here. It is lush, it is green, the hemlock trees are so tall and beautiful, and it almost feels, well, at least today, because it's a little bit humid, you can probably tell that by looking at this hair, but it is just like a rainforest kind of feel because it is so kind of moist and green and lush. I'm super excited to see the things we're gonna find on the trail today.
So we're doing this trail on a Tuesday in September, and so far it has not been crowded. We were fortunate to get a parking place in the main parking lot. We got the last one. The parking lot is a little bit tight, but certainly doable. There is a toilet there at the trailhead and some information signs. The trail is listed as moderate, and it is 2.4 miles. And we are heading toward the lookout at Diamond Point, and that's where we're going to get this spectacular view of the New River Bridge. So here's our first chance to peek across the gorge. You can hear the river down below. It's a little hazy today, but definitely beautiful views.
Wow, this is really beautiful, and we're not even to the overlook yet. I love being able to hear the river in the distance from up here. And again, if you know me at all, you know I don't like edgy things, and we're kind of on an edge, but I feel pretty safe. This is similar to like anything in Arkansas where I would have a little bit of space and don't have that scary vertigo feeling. So worth it to get over here to take a peek. Just over a mile in, on my watch 1.12 miles, you're going to find the sign for the Diamond Overlook, which is the main feature of this trail. So we're getting ready to head that way to see if we have a great view.
Well, you can certainly see why this is called the Endless Wall Trail. Look at this wall behind me. Well, we just finished up at Diamond Point Lookout, and we are continuing on the trail. I suspect that many people hike that mile plus to the lookout, check out the beautiful views, and then head back. I was actually a little surprised that you couldn't see more of the New River Bridge, but what we could see was certainly beautiful, and the stunner was seeing the rapids on the river way down below. We are just starting to see the signs of the fall colors coming out. I'd imagine this is going to be amazing in 2 or 3 weeks.
One of the very best things about this trail and most of the ones in New River Gorge National Park is that they are dog friendly. Most national parks do not allow dogs on trails, but these do. So it has been so fun to have Jasper hiking along with us. We just finished the Endless Wall Trail and we are now at the Nuttall Trailhead. The parking lot here is a little bit larger. Just like the other one, it has a vault toilet, a trash can, a sign to let you know where you are. So either one works, and now we've got to walk the road back to get back to our car at the Fern Creek Trailhead.
Okay, while we're walking back on the road, I've got 3 questions for you.
All right, question number 1.
Number 1, the trailhead marked this trail as moderate. What are your thoughts on the difficulty level of this trail?
I would probably go ahead and label it as that, just simply because you do have some uphill climbs, it's very slippery, and there's lots of roots throughout the path. You know, ultimately, I mean, it was easy. It was not a hard trail to do at all. But, you know, if I were rating it for people, I would still say moderate so that they know you've got some obstacles, a little bit.
Okay, question number 2.
Number 2.
Some of the reviews mentioned that the trail was super muddy. So what are your thoughts on mud?
It's pretty muddy, but it's really only muddy at the bottom of each trailhead. It doesn't matter which parking lot that you start at, you're gonna have some mud toward the bottoms, but that's because there's a creek that runs through the trail. And then randomly throughout the rest of the trail, you will have some mud spots, but they're easily navigable. My boots are not terribly muddy. My dog is even not terribly muddy. So yes, there's mud, but it's not atrocious.
Okay, and as the cars go by, question number 3, was there anything that you thought was unexpected? Because we knew that we would see some amazing views on the trail, but did anything else stick out for you?
Yes. I felt like I was in a rainforest. I would have thought, if you would have asked me where I was, I would have told you like Seattle in one of those rainforest trails. It was so lush, so dense, so beautiful. Another one of the things that when you read descriptions of the trail, it talks about how if you are a fungi lover, that you're gonna love this trail because there are so many different varieties of fungus, mushrooms, all that kind of stuff, crazy looking stuff. So if you enjoy that kind of thing, you're gonna love this trail.
All right, so there you have it. We are heading back to the car now, and we are gonna then head to the Long Point Trail for some more hiking and more beautiful views. Well, here we are at the Long Point Trail. This one is 1.6 miles each way. So all around and back will be about 3.2 miles. This one also has some muddy spots, and we're looking forward to some beautiful sights of the bridge.
I have been wondering where all the wildflowers are. We haven't seen any yet on any of our things that we visited until now, and there's tons of beautiful wildflowers, some that I've never seen before along this trail. So loving that beautiful thing. I am super excited on this trail that this one goes out to an overlook that gives you a great full-on view of the New River Gorge Bridge. So super excited, can't wait to see it.
I am so thankful for this shade. In the parking lot, we could feel the sun just baking us because it's pretty humid. It's right at 80 degrees, and here under the canopy in the shade, it feels great right now. Certainly doable. It is just so densely packed. The trees are so tight that it provides really thick, full coverage shade.
So I know we have mentioned this already, but hiking in the middle of the week is the way to go. Now, I just retired from teaching this past May, so this is our first ever non-summer vacation, and so we've never been able to have the luxury of going on a trip when it's not peak travel time. So we are in the middle of September, and on a Tuesday, kids are all in school, and we're in a national park on one of the top 2 trails, and there is nobody here. It is wonderful. I am loving this off-peak hiking.
The trail is nice and wide, and it does have some sections that are framed in by some 4x4s, and there are some muddy spots, but luckily there are some alternate trail paths that can skirt the mud.
Not only are hikers allowed on this trail, but you can have bikes on this trail as well. We actually saw two guys who were out on their e-bikes on the trail, which is pretty cool. The first mile of the trail is like double and triple wide, so there's plenty of room. Once you get near the end of the trail, you're going to see a sign that says no bikes beyond this point. They do have some convenient bike racks, and then the trail is going to narrow and get a little steeper.
I don't know if you can see it behind me, but that spot way over there is where we were on our previous hike. Okay, so Long Point Trail complete.
Check.
And we had a great time now on 2 trails. So talking about Long Point, hun, questions for you. First
Okay.
of all, what'd you think of the trail?
I think it is a lovely trail. We are like in the thickest woods, and again, with it being 80 degrees, normally it would just be miserable to hike. And it's not, it's like almost feels like it's sunset right now.
Yeah.
Because of how thick the trees are. I really love it.
Okay, what was something about the hike that you thought was unexpected?
My unexpected was the lack of people. Again, I already mentioned this, but just the fact that this is one of the most popular trails in a national park, and we have only seen a handful of people, and Eric was even able to go all the way to the end of the point with nobody out there. It was great.
Gotcha. So of these 2 trails, of course, both of them have some exposure on some rock faces and so on. What'd you think of the exposure on this one?
Okay, so for this one, for me, this one was tougher. I was not able to make it out to the very end of the tip. The trail gets really narrow. There are some trees and things that help obscure your view until you get to the very, very end, which, you know, should have been helpful for me, but there was enough gap that I could see that, you know, I'm basically on a really skinny, narrow rock looking over nothing at a really high height. Couldn't do it. So if you are scared of heights, or like me, scared of falling, then you're not going to want to make it all the way out to the tip. Now, I still can make it far enough where I felt comfortable, where I could see part of the bridge. It was beautiful, it was good, and for people who are not scared, go all the way to the end and you're going to get a spectacular view of the bridge.
Okay, so last question for you.
All right.
Do you have a favorite out of the 2, or is it important for people who come here to do both of these since they're both the most popular in the area?
So yes, obviously people, if you can do both, do both. If you can only do one and you're not scared of heights or falling, you probably need to do Long Point because you get that iconic view of the bridge.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think I actually liked the Endless Wall one better because it had a little hiking by a creek, which is one of my favorite things to do, and also just a gorgeous view of the river, and I loved being able to hear the rushing rapids from that high up. It was just awesome. But ultimately, they're both the 2 favorite hikes in the park for a reason. Do them both if you can. They're not long, they're not super hard, and they're worth it.
Well, that's going to wrap up our look at the Endless Wall Trail and Long Point Trail here at New River Gorge National Park. So get out and explore because...
And take your dog.
That's right.
Because you can.
This is a great one to take your dog because today's an adventure day.